Hello, my friends from Cosmic Agency. I am Gosha. Today is a very difficult video. In fact, I have no idea even how to open it, how to start it. In a million years, I would have never imagined that we would have to. And as I go through explaining things in this video, you will understand why we have to. So I have prepared notes. This is actually going to go according to my notes. As always, when I make these larger videos, I have to organize it well, and here there are a lot of points through which to go. So bear with me, and I want you to stay with me until the end. I insist you have to see this video till the end. If you are our subscriber, if you have been our follower since the beginning, or if you are a new subscriber, even more so if you are a new subscriber, and you will also understand why, then please stay till the end of this video, as if you just see parts of it or the beginning, you might maybe jump into the insufficient or wrong conclusions, and you can only see the entirety of the picture of what I'm going to present if you listen to this video in its complete duration. So before I start, as you know, I have recently been to Mongolia. It has been my dream come true. Why am I saying this? Is because there have been some things that we wanted to say, I will be explained in this video, for a very long time, but we have been postponing it, not being sure, and we both decided that we are going to do this, if we decide to do this, after my Mongolian trip. I went there because I've always wanted to go there. It's been my dream forever, like 10 years, and I have been planning this since last year. But I do believe this is not a coincidence, and before I was leaving there, I was saying to myself and to Robert, I'm going to go there, and something is going to become clear to me about the situation, and we will know how to perceive better. So this is not a coincidence, it's been a synchronicity. I must tell you that this year has been the absolutely, and I'm not saying this exaggerating or being dramatic, worst year of my life. Worst year of my life, and you will understand why. Enormous amount of stress, mostly because of social responsibilities that Robert and I have with you, with these communities, in English, and I'm by myself in English, in Spanish, in Polish. This is extending into all countries in the world, and it's a great thing, okay? But you understand why it's not a great thing at the same time. Thousands of people are relying on us with this. They kind of look up to us, look to us, better said, with regards to different events that are happening out there and up there. And we have this responsibility and commitment and duty to inform if we see or feel there is something wrong or something that we are not condoning anymore. We have always said, those of you who know us, that if we ever feel there is something wrong, then we will tell you. This is not business for us. This is not fame for us. We don't care about any of these things. We will tell you. And the moment has come. In this video, I will explain to you why both Robert and I believe that there has been the greatest of all infiltrations happening to the TAYGETAN team. As you know, and those of you who have been following me for a long time know that the TAYGETANs have always been worried a lot about infiltrations, about being infiltrated. And we have had attempts of infiltrations both from the inside, here on Earth, and up there, different types of attempts. So this is not something that is just happening now, and it has been explained in the previous videos and in the past years also. But we believe the infiltration happened, and the channel that you all follow, that we have all been following until now, Swaruu Oficial, we believe it has been infiltrated. Stay with me. I know this is a shock. I know this is horrible to hear, and you will be jumping and being angry at me right now for saying this. No, I have not been cloned in Mongolia, okay? Nothing happened there. You will understand from this video, from all the points that I will present, how we reached these conclusions, okay? So let's start, because I am doing a lot of intro here, but I had to, because how do I just jump at this subject? And just so you know, this has been the most difficult thing for me to come out to reach the decision about. Like I said, it's been the worst year of my life, emotionally draining, mentally, psychologically. So just to say in a few words, we have started our contact in 2017 in December, but started sharing this information in 2018. Skipping forward, Mari came in the picture in 2021. She came here in 2021, and that story has been explained both in our channels and in Mari's channel. And she opened her own channel in December 2022. Okay, let's go from the point. This is very difficult for me to go through all these different points. It's really, but in a way, it's a huge relief, and you understand why. Okay, so from the very beginning, when Mari opened her channel, well, we felt that there is some kind of disconnect. She didn't want to, for example, include our channels in the list of recommended channels, even though we always pointed to her channel. And she always used to say that this is High Council of TAYGETA instructing that for some reason. No one really understood exactly the reason, but we started to notice the separation, but we didn't really, of course, this was nothing. We understood perfectly, we were fine, we were happy and excited that there is someone from the team, and later to be Queen herself, doing the videos. I was very thrilled for you, for the community. And Mari used to, say hello in the videos here and there, and also, sometimes send some messages through Athena or Yaski, from what I remember. No problem at all. We also noticed that Athena and Yaski were coming less, but again, we didn't question anything. We always try to understand. We were focused on work. I always say I have so much to say. I have so many topics to do, so I was not concerned. I was just sometimes asking Athena if everything was okay, because we were friends. So I wanted to know if they are okay. They also had problems with food at that time, and also long before Mari, actually, before Mari, Yaski was also, remember those times when she had to print, so to speak, from another timeline, the food, the apples. Aneka was saying they were always eating the same apple. And that was because they were always afraid of infiltration. So they kept themselves to themselves, and they didn't allow anybody. They didn't allow any other TAYGETANs to come on board. They were very restricted in that sense. So the problems with food, with the supplies began. Mari came, opened her channel, and she decided to monetize her channel, but she still felt kind of bad about it. So me wanting to help, I actually offered to monetize my channel as well as a sort of support. Look, let's do this together, you know, let's do this together. I'm going to accompany you in this action. And actually, I offered to pay half of my earnings from monetization in Cosmic Agency. And I have been doing that for about 2 years or so, I think, if I'm not if I'm not wrong, until January, I think, this year. I'll explain why. So I have been paying each month from my own YouTube monetization earnings to Athena and Yaski, and that was for food, for supplies, to help them and to accompany Mari in this decision. You know, I wanted to support her. Okay, in August in 2024, Athena said that Mari would come in to coordinate things with us. I was shocked when she said that, because we didn't have the communication with Mari, really. It was just with Yaski and Athena. So I was like, wow, really? Are you sure she's busy, you know? It's not necessary, but Athena said, yeah, she wants to come. I'm just throwing it in there as a piece to connect. We also received the last hello from Mari in her video in July 2024. Stay with me, because for now you may think this is going nowhere, this is going somewhere. We're gonna go through many different points, things that happened in the last 7 months or so that have been to us extremely strange. I'll also mention Mari's material, but that's going to be in the next part. First, I'm going to present internal things that have been happening between the Sikh and ourselves, mostly, but also before Athena and Yaski disappearance. So stay with me, okay? This has absolutely nothing to do with us losing or not having the contact. You understand perfectly what I mean when you listen to this video. Okay, just to throw it in there, because all this is going to be a combination of many points that we have been connecting, okay? In October, November, more or less in that time, I received a message from someone, a girl, who is very known for her astral involvement and astral work and, you know, things like that. I'm not going to say her name for now. And she came in out of nowhere. I mean, I did the interview once with her, but she came in out of nowhere meaning we don't talk. I don't talk to anybody, really. She doesn't send me any messages. And she warned me about a supposed some kind of imposter guide, galactic level imposter guide that has been over me, and she said to be careful. Okay, well, you know, throughout the years we receive sometimes messages through people here and there, but I received it, but I kind of laughed it off, meaning I did believe her, but I didn't care much. I mean, there are always beings around trying to get control over you, so I didn't really care much, but I did, you know, took a mental note of that. Imposter guide. Okay, keep that in mind as I go. In October 19th, we receive a message, the first time message from CIC, saying that Yaski and Tina were very sick. I'm saying the first time because so far our conversation was with Athena and Yaski only. Okay, there was no communication with the CIC. But we have been together with them in a server that before was dedicated to our lives, the lives that I did last year and in 2003 with Mari and Yaski. Okay, so Sik was there helping, passing the questions, etc. So they were there. So suddenly, 19th October, They say Yaski and Athena were sick. Okay, I understood that. Also, we understood that from Yaski herself before, saying she was sick. Mari was explaining the situation at the same time also. So as they were there, well, I asked some administrative questions here and there. For example, if there was a spelling question for the name, for the transcripts, some changes to the website. They were answering very formally, but well, you know, that's okay. Okay, 6th November, stay with me, okay? Stay with me, because so far it's nothing, I know, but it's growing, okay? It's growing. 6th November, someone, and this is the first shocker that comes. This is the first time that I felt something was off. So before that, I didn't feel anything off. I'm just giving you the timeline so it builds up to what I'm going to say. So 6th November, someone from the CIC comes in literally with a shouting energy, telling me in big letters, I mean underlined, you know, bold, saying that I have to call Mari the queen. And why is it that I don't call her queen? Okay, this is what this message said. This is originally in Spanish. I'm going to translate this into English.
You say that Mari is a 16-year-old extraterrestrial teenager sitting in a spaceship, and in Spanish you add that she is a very important girl. Gosha, sorry to mention this, but it has hurt us all. Let me explain. If those videos were made by Alanim, and if she were still the queen of Taygeta, would you present her like that? Would you present her as a 25-year-old girl? No, right. You would present her with the title that corresponds to her. Mari is the queen of Taygeta. She has earned that position on her own merit. We are proud of her. She is our pride. She is not a temporary queen or a princess in training who holds the position of queen for a period of time. No. Alanim will not return to occupy the position of queen.
When I received this message, I was very hurt, but not because I was corrected. No, I don't mind that. I always have always told them that, you know, correct me if there is something wrong, guide me, instruct me. If you see any improvements or if there are any mistakes, I'll be glad to correct it, because this is my mindset. I always want to do everything right and correctly. So I wasn't hurt because of that. But first of all, because of the energy this came with, you have to understand now, I'm going to show you some screenshots, and you have to understand that this is not just the words that were spoken, but also the type of energy that we have felt from behind those words, that we have never ever felt in the whole 7 years of our interactions with the Taygetans. So that's one, because of the energy it came with. But I also was hurt because in that moment I realized, how come in my endless daily support that I show for Mari in videos, in my social media, spreading her knowledge, spreading the information, lives, interviews, where I always promote her channel, how come that none of it is mentioned in this message, but just that is mentioned, that I just somewhere didn't call her the queen, which in fact I didn't. They were referring to a specific video because I felt in that moment I was talking to the new subscribers. Now in the beginning I would always say hello to the new subscribers, and if you don't know, the Mari channel is this and that. So I didn't want to right away jump at the word queen, because it can put off some new members. I'm always very careful how I phrase things. Later on, yes, I would always say it, of course. So why in this message there is nothing else being acknowledged of all the other effort that I have been putting into this work and to promote Mari? I felt in that message that it was cold, it was coming from someone who was not a friend, who did not like me, who did not regard me as part of the team, and I felt passive-aggressive emotion through it. Not to mention, it was communicated without a name. No name, okay? Which at that time we also understood. I actually cried after that message because I used to, and I will still, you understand, give so much to them. So loyal, so loyal to them, giving my heart out in this effort to promote them and Mari. So for them to come with this passive-aggressive message, I just felt so hurt and I cried a lot. It came with a lot of toxic energy, this message. Even though it hurt me so much, of course, I try not to focus on this, okay? And there's gonna be a tendency in the next, through the next points. Just not paying attention to my emotions and just kept going, focused on work because I just didn't want to take anything personally. I always used to give excuses and justifications for that type of behavior. So I kept going and continued to be supportive and professional. I didn't actually tell anybody how confused about this message was and hurt. I didn't even tell Matthias, he was busy with work. I didn't even tell Robert because at that time Robert was not in that server because it was to do with our lives, with that I did last year in 2023. So he wasn't there. I just decided, okay, I'm gonna just brush it off the feeling. I don't want to talk about it because then, I'm gonna make it bigger. Like whatever, someone had a bad day, whatever. They are people. We always say they are people, right? I always say they are people. They have humor. They have moods. It's perfectly fine. We really have seen it all. And when I say we have seen it all, I did not include this. We have never seen this before, this type of energy. This type of energy that was there in that message and it will be in the following messages, we have never seen that before. So finally, I decided to tell Matthias, to tell Robert, because the feeling of hurt wasn't going away. And when I told Robert about this, he became angry. And because I was showing to Robert, I said, Robert, what do you feel in this message? Is it just my imagination? Like, am I taking it wrongly, or is there like a bad feeling here? And he said, no, Gosha, you are right. There is totally a bad feeling in this message. And he entered that server in that time because he was allowed to come in. He entered that server and out of his anger, of course, he demanded first identification. He said, who are you people? You are coming in here and you are throwing around orders. We don't even know who you are. Because at that time, I didn't talk to Athena and Yaski. They just said, Athena and Yaski are sick, okay? And that's it. We don't know who they are. After that, actually, Athena came. Athena came and explained to us the situation. And she said, guys, these are super strict new military groups of people, and they have a bunch of protocols here to follow, and do not expect them to be friendly. That's just how they are. We were relieved, actually. We were like, oh, okay, so they are still, from your... Athena came, so well, they are still there. They are from your team, good. Okay, they are just a bit cold, but that's okay. We understood. And if you're dealing with a military type of a personality or that is focused on different types of tasks than talking to you, well, then of course they're gonna come across this way. I have no problem with that at that point. I understood. However, she did mention something already there that was interesting. Again, all this is happening in Spanish. I'm going to translate. She said, we do not fully trust in this, how to translate this, in this group of stiffed uniforms that are in a CIC right now. However, we need them. And then in another place, she said, because I'm not going to show you all the screenshots, that would take too long, just some parts of the conversations. Then she also said that just because they are the TAYGETANs, it doesn't mean that we fully trust them. So that already kind of, okay, it was interesting that even she doesn't trust them fully. Okay, interesting. But, we accepted this. We continued again to ask CIC some administrative questions. They were answering short, but they were answering very formal, which at that point we already understood. Athena explained. So we understood they had to be formal this way. They are this way. They are, it's not their job to be talking to people online. Perfectly fine. Okay. And we still appreciated them at that point and that's the only good thing about them. And I have to be totally fair in all this speech that I'm presenting, that they were answering questions. Like if I had an administrative question about the name of some medical doctor, Mari was talking about new groups of military guys, and doctors, and names were confusing to me, or I didn't understand something there. So they were always there to clarify that, and we appreciated that. I needed that, exactly what I wanted, because I needed that coordination. That's the only good thing. I'll mention this because it was there. Okay, 10th of December, CIC appears and says that Yasuki hasn't returned since 25th of November, and that they don't know where she is. Okay, I didn't know that she was gone. Mari didn't say anything at that point either, so okay, she's gone. Well, I wasn't too worried at that time. She comes and goes, she disappears. Well, that was okay. Yasuki doing Yasuki things. Okay, now we're gonna start now some more strange things, because more strange things started to happen right after Athena and Yasuki supposedly went away. The same month, okay, stay with me. I'm begging you, stay with me, because otherwise you're gonna dismiss this as, as something that it is not. I'm honestly explaining here the whole chronology of things and why we reach this conclusion that we are at right now. Because for us to reach this conclusion and to be talking about it, it really had to take a lot. So let's continue going through this, okay? Oh, and when Athena came and said that she doesn't trust those guys fully, that was the last time she was in. We never heard from her after that. Okay, next strange thing. This is something that is it was just one sentence. It was gonna come next, but it was just super strange. In Telegram, sometimes I write posts, and I would write posts to them sometimes too, like greetings to the team up there, sending you positive energy, because at that time they were going through all these sicknesses and confusions, and the military guys took over. That's the time where the military guys took over. Someone came and took over. So I sent them positive energy in a post, sending positive thoughts to the team. Okay. They said they came in responding some, irrelevant, from what I remember, administrative question, signed attentively CIC Alcyone CIC Big E. By the way, they always sign it like that, super formal. Okay, new divisions, fine. We were always, fine with, we're rolling with it all, trying to understand, fine, no problem. But look what they added at the bottom here. They took a special effort to leave that message there. P.S. About sending good energy, it's not necessary. Thank you very much. What is this? When I saw this, I just couldn't believe my eyes. Like, what? About the positive energies, it's not necessary. Thank you very much. And that's it? Who says that? And remember, this was coming with the energy, okay? You just have to trust me on this when I say that it wasn't just words. It was the energy that we were being punched with, and it wasn't nice at all. It started to actually be more and more toxic. Nothing like the energy that I felt before from the TAYGETANs. Who says something like that? I mean, who says no positive energy necessary? Thank you very much. I mean, even if you are some kind of a tough guy and you don't really care if someone sends good energy or not, you don't specifically take an effort and to come in to come in to the chat where when you say you don't have time to be there, and specifically take an effort, take your time to put that sentence in. I mean, this is a total rejection, right? I mean, who doesn't want positive energies? Like I'm saying, even if you don't really care and you are a tough guy, if you are a good person, you're not going to say that. You're just going to take it, say thank you, whatever. It's not necessary. I felt like it was someone who is like showing their true colors through that message, because I don't know, I felt it was some kind of a being of a person, or a person that doesn't deal with positive emotions, that bothered that someone, that my positive energy that was sent to them bothered them. What kind of a being would that be, that the positive energy bothers them? Think about that. Like I'm saying, I'm going to give you these little points that will be indicate little and more bigger points. That will be indication, okay, that is going to draw certain conclusions in the end. Okay, remember, this is connecting a lot of dots together. We are in June. This happened in December. So we have been connecting a lot of dots since then. Well, my response to this, I didn't know how to respond to that. But, you know, I tried to take it lightly, like, you know, take it as a joke, you know, I not to try to take it personally. So I said, oh, okay, so greeting, and I remove then my positive energies. Sure, I always say the same thing, that it's not necessary, that I can do it all. Well done, guys, strong, keep going like that, greetings. That's all I could come up with. I didn't know how to respond to that. At that time, I stopped sending them positive energies. If you notice, my posts were not about that anymore, and not sending positive energies to the team, because they specifically rejected that. I felt that very strongly. And it started to become chillier and chillier as we went along. I felt very confused, I felt very hurt, and I felt betrayed, especially when I saw their own messages in the lives of Mari's chats, where they were sending love and affection to the fans, and appreciating the love and the affection coming from the fans. I felt they were being double-faced. For example, one of the messages was, "Dear friends, thank you so much for all your constant support, for the strength you send us with every kind word and gesture, for all the messages. We love you all so much. A big hug to all of you, dear friends." When I was seeing this as CIC messages in Mari's lives, you have no idea how I felt. It made no sense to me. I started to feel like there's something shady going on here. We started to feel like they are playing something here. We felt the rejection coming towards us. We never, ever received that kind of message from them. And still they were pretending, because we believe that's what it is, to be now, we still didn't at that time, pretending to be that way to the public. And we were confused, but we couldn't say anything at that time, because we didn't have any further information. Okay, nothing. Okay, well, maybe they just like that, you know, maybe whatever, they don't even maybe like us, you know, for some reason, but they are still good guys. So let's keep going, let's keep, you know, working. We were focused on the cause, and we still believed in them overall and in their message. Okay, now we also noticed that Mari continued to say thank you in her message to absolutely everyone but us, especially to the sponsors. We noticed this gradually, okay? Because like I said, every now and then before, in the past year, she would say something. Last message was in July 2024. A few months before that took over. That happened in October, November, before they all got sick. After that, there was nothing. Not even one word of thank you guys, some kind of a pat on the back, thank you for your support. I mean, they were saying this, all of them, and Mari, to the followers, to the sponsors, but never to the people, Robert and I, that kept sending their way all those sponsors, because we were promoting her everywhere until last day, until I left to Mongolia, promoting her everywhere, interviews, sending people her way, okay? And I am not talking about even talking to us directly saying this. I mean, like in Mari's videos, we were observing what she says in the videos. And, we believe that occasional pat on the back is for the people, for the grand crew that we have been for 7 years, is more than welcome. Some kindness here and there. But we felt absolutely nothing until the last day. Nothing. Emotionless hollowness. In December, I reached 100,000 subscribers. You all thanked me and congratulated me. Robert did in his lives. Alec made that video, where he's promoting the channel and saying thank you. Mari, nothing. The CIC, nothing. No congrats. Now, the New Year's came. New Year's, 2024 New Year's video message from Mari. She thanks everybody for the last year's support, especially to the sponsors. Notice there is no mentioning of Gosha and Robert.
So a big thank you to all of you who were with me and accompanied me with your patience during these last difficult months of 2024. I truly wish I could get closer to many of you, and I never stop thinking and plotting how. And lastly, I want to thank my sponsors who have been supporting me with their beautiful donations. A warm thank you to all who have donated to my channel, especially to those few of you who do it constantly and repetitively, as you are sponsoring my presence here, and one of my group. I have no words to say how much I thank you because none of this would be possible without you, as YouTube earnings are far from being enough. Thank you for supporting me, for being at my side, and for being such wonderful friends. I send you a big hug and a kiss along with my thank you. I love you all. This will be all for today.
Again, we felt hurt, we felt confused because, again, nothing happened. Nothing that indicates to us what's wrong. But we kept supporting them and her and the team. We kept ignoring all the feelings. Well, we just, thought that's the way it has to be for now. We don't understand. It's protocols. We always say that in this contact, you cannot have any really, expectations. You have to keep going with what is. And sometimes, you might feel confused, but not everything can be revealed to you at all times. So that's the explanation we were giving to ourselves at all times until the end. It was strange to us, but we kept going. And I'm saying we kept going because you have never seen me go down in my work. I always kept making videos. I came up with a Space Academy, next shocker that you'll receive in a moment. And Robert the same, kept doing lives, very professional. We kept focused on the cause. Okay, 2nd of January, CIC comes in and informs us, and like I said, it was just like announcements, okay? It wasn't like a conversation. They would say something, we would say something a few hours later, maybe they would say something a few hours later, like very formal communication, which according to Athena, this was a new division of military guys. So I understood that. I was okay with that at that point, despite these strange things. 2nd of January, CIC came in and informed us that the DK, Dorkalel's account was taken over, that they are taking over his account, that now this is going to be their account. Okay, we just said, okay, thank you for informing us. That was Dorkalel's account for all the last years. He never really came speaking to us. We spoke to Athena and Yaski, but we knew he was there. That was his account. Okay. Now, the 2nd of January, and you can see that in my Telegram and my social media, I posted a message. Which was actually the result of all this and the feelings that I have been feeling, like or someone is trying to push me away here. I don't know why. So I posted this saying that I will not go away. A quick message to whoever would wish to get rid of me or go to other things in life. A message to all the negative factions out there. Think again, as it will not happen. For as long as I stand, I will be here doing this work, sharing TAYGETAN information. No one can get rid of me, through no matter what strategies. To actually eliminate me, some kind of scheme would need to be devised. And if that happens, here it is, to register that I already thought it could happen. But I still won't go away. You have no idea how stubborn I can get. P.S. Don't worry, my friends. There is a point in my message. Whoever it is for, they will understand. That message was already addressing whatever forces that I didn't associate with this team yet at that point. I was like, I don't know, someone is rejecting me here in this. I don't know why. I'm gonna put this out there. One day after this message, 3rd of January, a small group of them in a CIC appears online and say hi. For the first time, we actually saw their names, because before it was no names, which Athena also explained to us that they cannot identify themselves for security reasons, blah, blah. Okay, we understand that. For the first time, they gave their names. They said, and this is going to be the next strange thing, they said, we are reconditioning, restructuring this server, reorganizing, and so that you know, you can talk within this server with total transparency, since all its members here are of can be fully trusted. This is what it says. I say, thank you, we appreciate it very much. Same from us. You are among friends, of course. Full trust. We are here for whatever you need us. Why is that strange? In the 7 years that we talked to them, none of them ever has said, you can trust us. We found it very strange because this was a new group that just appeared out of nowhere, and they are right away saying, you can trust us. Who says that? Normally, whoever says that is someone who knows cannot be trusted. That's why they say it, because they overcompensate for something they are hiding. In 7 years, when Athena came, Yaski came, no one ever said, oh, by the way, you can trust us. That means nothing. These are words. You don't gain trust by saying you can trust someone. I talked to Mikko about this, who is Matthias's brother, who is the one managing the website. And he said, because he has a military past also, and he said, this is not how the military operates. This is normally not how it's done. You cannot just gain trust saying you are trusted. How it works, you have to extend the trust from someone who is trusted. So, for example, Athena would come and introduce them and say, by the way, guys, I'm Athena, and these guys are trusted. You extend the trust through yourself. But they came out of nowhere. Athena was nowhere to be found. Yaski was nowhere to be found. And they said they can't be trusted. They said a few words that they are reorganizing. Hi, nice to meet you. And they were gone. So we found it very strange. I find it very, very, very strange. Okay, let's go to the next point. Now about the money that I have been sending, well, that I was sending for over 2 years, okay, to Athena and Yaski for their needs, for their food and stuff like that. Normally, Athena would always come in and give me the confirmation that she received it. That's kind of how we had it. I would tell her exactly how much I'm going to send, because it was always half of my money, of my YouTube monetization. Yes, I was giving them half of my Cosmic Agency monetization. And she would always come in and say, thank you, we received it, thank you very much. So now Athena was gone. I didn't know, am I supposed to send the money? Okay, so I sent it. I still trusted them. And they came in with supposed Athena's message saying, I am Athena, I cannot come in yet, there are temporary communication restrictions. And that was sent by a CIC. They said that from now on, they will be sending these confirmations. I asked, why them? I mean, I said, this is just temporary, right? I hope they're temporary restriction for the communication. Athena would eventually confirm herself, right? I said. There was silence for 3 days after that question. And that was very unusual because, they never waited so long to answer something. It was just some kind of a simple question or whatever. They would always answer. That was that was the only good thing about them, like I said earlier. Here there was nothing, no response for 3 days. And we thought, what is it? Again, these are all strange things that indicate now to us the conclusion that we are reaching, but at the time we still didn't know. Okay, so they were silent. It was a bit strange, but they are busy, could be doing many things. I would always give them the benefit of a doubt. Always. That's why this last year has been so difficult, the worst year of my life, because I have been tormenting myself with this, because I was giving them the benefit of a doubt until the last moment. Squeezing all this inside of me. Okay, so after 3 days, they come in and say that they are giving us exclusive news about Athena, that she has left looking for Yaski, and they don't know how long she will be gone, and that Mari will talk about it in her video. And effectively, Mari, next video, few days later or the next day, she made a video about Athena being gone. And that she might come back in 10 years. Very convenient, no? But let me just say, I asked about Athena coming to confirm the money, the reception of the money. They went silent for 3 days, as if now we are thinking, they were thinking what to respond, what they were scheming an answer. And they came up with that idea that, okay, Athena went to look for Yaski. That was a few days after I asked the question about Athena. So at that moment, we realized, we were talking with Robert about this back and forth, that we realized that everybody was gone. Everybody. Toleka was sent home. Alanim was sent into the pod and, forgotten, basically. Zael's channel dismantled. Svarunian race dissolved. Athena and Yaski as last pieces gone, without almost any concern. No one talks about them, nothing, as if they don't exist. Crew, previous Toleka crew, all made bad, as if they were all under astral attacks. Predecessors, which I hate that word, but okay, I understood again why it had to be used. Predecessors never shown appreciation, we will get to that as well. Brushed off as well into oblivion. Dorkalel's account taken over. And at that moment we realized we were literally the only piece left. And not only the last piece standing, barely tolerated piece. From the official group, because maybe they were talking to some other people on the side, we don't know. But we literally felt we were the only left here. And yes, they were still answering some questions, but we felt that they did that because they just didn't know how to get rid of us yet. So they still had to play the cards until they knew how. Because they were kind of they were creating a narrative to get rid of everybody slowly and gradually. But I told Robert at that point, I said, Robert, careful, we will be next. I feel something will happen and we will be next on the chopping block. And I was right. I didn't even have to wait long. 1 week later, something did happen and we were cut off. And this time it was sort of my mistake here. I'm going to explain this. I am honestly and with full transparency here explaining all this, but it was kind of my mistake. But we feel very strongly that this was an excuse, because they wanted to get rid of us already. So, and this is another shocker. And I think with this, you're gonna start to really believe me when I say there is something very shady going on here, and whoever is behind is an emotionless, manipulative entity. Who? We'll get to that. On 19th of January, I came into the chat. The chat that it was open in Mari's premiere. And I said, and I really wish I had screenshots. I was actually looking for them, but I couldn't find it. I said there that now I don't remember exact words. I cannot be fully happy with Athena's and Yashi's absence, that I am concerned and that I cannot be fully happy. CIC in that chat responds to me in the chat, in public, and says, Gosha, do not be a catastrophist. For sure everything is okay, or something like that. Catastrophist? I wasn't a catastrophist. I actually do not like to speculate. I'm always positive, I believe. And I just said that I cannot be fully happy because I couldn't. And they said also, they responded that probably Yashi is with Mari in the astral, helping with all the situation. That's when the cleaning of the High Council was happening and all that. But I remembered in that moment, I was analyzing what they said. I actually said, oh, that's an interesting, I hope it's like that. That's a good way of looking at this. I actually said that. If someone has screenshots, find them. But I also said, because I remember that Mari in her video recently before that said that she didn't feel Yashi close. So me, as I'm analyzing different points, I'm saying there in the chat, oh, but I remember that Mari said she didn't feel Yashi, so I wonder, I'm trying to analyze the situation. They blocked me. In that moment, I was blocked in the chat, and they came privately to the server and they said the following, and I'm going to show you exactly what they said. I wish you could read Spanish, because then you will understand more clearly what they said. This is what they said.
Gosha, we feel that your constant messages are only revealing a deep distrust of Mari. We also perceive it as an attempt at manipulation or emotional blackmail to get us to work with you again, or for someone to give you explanations that may compromise the safety of ongoing operations. And you have already been informed that, for the moment, disclosures will only go through Mari's channel. We're sorry, but that is the decision. We are concerned about your behavior, and this is making us think that we should report your conduct to Mari and to High Command.
This message shocked me. It was another punch in my heart. I've been already feeling these punches since that first message that someone came in angrily with a toxic energy and yelled at me because I'm not calling Mari queen in one video, despite millions of other videos where I'm showing great support and loyalty. This was another punch in my heart. First of all, your constant messages, my constant messages, I don't think you can, please look for those constant messages. I remember I made one specific Telegram post where I said I'm not fully happy and I'm, not comfortable with them gone. I don't know what's going on. I hope they're okay. I said that in the post. I do not remember saying it elsewhere, maybe here and there randomly in some comment to someone, but that's wrong. That is constantly. And second, what's that to do with the mistrust in Mari? Again, this is saying someone, now I know that, who already knows that I should have grounds not to trust Mari, and that's why they are exaggerating my reaction, because in my comment there was no distrust really towards Mari at that point. They were projecting something from themselves. Next, what's in this comment? Intention of manipulation and emotional blackmail? Let's just stop here. I felt, I don't even have words to describe how I felt, because it's like completely opposite of how I am. I don't manipulate. I don't do emotional blackmails. If I have to say something, I will just say it directly. They know this. So after 7 years of working with this team, they would accuse me of that? Like, I felt shattered, I felt offended, I felt insulted, I felt hurt, angry, betrayed, all at the same time. Like, I wasn't seen, you know. Next, to obtain, to go back, to work with you, to divulge with you, that's a word from Spanish. What? I was saying to them, to Athena and Yaski, for the last 2 years already, when they're coming less, that it's perfectly okay. They always had to feel free, you know. I can show you millions of conversations when I'm always making them feel free. Like they need to come in and share whatever they want to share, or be with us whenever they want to. Not because they have to. There is absolutely no obligation to do anything, absolutely, in this contact. It's very important for both parties to be willing on both sides to be coming online, to be talking, to be sharing, to be working. I don't need, especially them, to be working with me to divulge. That was never my intention when I expressed that I'm sad for Yaski and Athena. When I'm expressing that I'm sad for Yaski and Athena, I'm just expressing my emotions. So they are creating a story here that is something projected from themselves that was not a reflection of myself at all. And let's just go to the last sentence. We have to denounce your behavior. Like, show me, people, I'm asking you, show me my behavior. Where is that behavior wrong? We are denounce your behavior to Mari and to High Command. I'm going to leave it at this, because I think you are with me here on this. I hope so. Those who know me. Behavior? First of all, what's even wrong with me wanting to see the information and the knowledge to divulge? Even if I was open to someone working with me on this, I don't. What is it that I did wrong in the 7 past years to see this information? Why are you making it sound like it's something bad that I want this? And I never want that against anybody's will. That's first, because I always respect people's will. And what's that to do with Mari? Why would I not trust her? Why would you even suggest that? Is she not to be trusted? What are you implying? It's something that's coming from their head, not mine. It speaks of them, not of me. And they are mentioning seeding mistrust in Mari, but seeding mistrust in predecessors, that's okay. We will get to that. So at that point, I really felt like I was being bullied. I really felt this message was bullying. It was putting down my emotional expression that I just said. I was sad because of Yaski and Athena, but I stopped saying anything about Yaski and Athena, about how it affected me that they were gone. I stopped saying that in public for fear of being called manipulative. And now I know that that was manipulation, to stop me from expressing myself, where I never dramatize about anything. I am not a catastrophist. We lost contact with them before. For the new subscribers, we had no contact for 5 years once. Do I ever show catastrophe? Do I go into depression? I keep going, I keep smiling, I keep being positive, I keep trusting the process. You can go back in my videos years back when I say, how do I feel about the lost contact? Well, I trust the process. I trust this is going to be okay. I trust they know what they are doing, and all this is happening for a reason. So to call me catastrophist and me manipulating, that was manipulation, because only people who manipulate see manipulation in others. Okay, that's coming from your mind. That's coming from your world, not mine. My response to this, because again, I didn't know how to respond, but I had to respond something. So this is my response. Seek, my messages have nothing to do with distrust of anyone, but rather concern for Yasky and Tina, which I can't hide because it's eating me up inside. It has nothing to do with disclosure either. I have enough on my plate. Why always come back to this? If I had more, I don't know if I could handle so much work. We were never just disclosers either. We were also friends, very close ones. My concern is for Yasky and Tina, who are my friends and family. Expressing an emotion is not blackmail. If it were, no one should ever express what they feel for fear of being misinterpreted. And that's the last thing we should feel as friends, the fear of expressing ourselves. And their response is this.
Then what is the purpose of airing your fears in public? What are you trying to achieve? Because by doing so, you are working against the group.
Yeah, I'm working against the group? But you do realize that Yasky and Athena are in the group, no? So me showing concern for Yasky and Athena, I'm showing loyalty for someone within the group. Or are they not in a group in your perception? That's why they were made disappeared? Who is the group? Is Mari the only one? The group here? That's how we started to feel. That there is no one relevant in the group but Mari and whoever was around her, whoever was writing these messages. So what did I look for in expressing that? Like I said in my response to them, I just wanted to express myself. Manipulation, that's not what it is. Manipulation is when you are faking something. For example, you are faking tears to obtain something. I was not faking anything, one, and I was not trying to obtain anything. I was simply expressing myself, being honest with the public like I always am, being real. But even then, as you see here with the following message, I try to be understanding of them and why they could be saying that. I said here in this message here in Spanish that I believe that the fact that they are seeing so much manipulation in others, like in me, in my innocent comment about Yasky and Athena, is because they have so much manipulation around them, all this difficult situation with the High Council, traitors everywhere. So that's why they have to protect themselves and defend their field. No, I was trying to be comprehensive towards them. Even then. Now, after this, when I said that in the same message, I also requested a meeting. I decided it was time. It was a good moment for me to actually request something for myself. If you are going to report this, I would also like you to please ask for a meeting for Robert and me to coordinate ourselves, as there are several points to organize. In fact, we were going to ask for it before, but we always postponed it so as not to disturb. We are your team down here, the only one left. We do a lot of work and we feel that an organizational meeting is important, please. At the moment, we feel quite isolated here. When there is an administrative change, there is usually a meeting to coordinate new guidelines, etc., to clear up doubts or establish ways of cooperation, even if it's just to agree on the little things like what to say and what not to say to the public, etc. I have questions about Space Academy, financial questions. We should set up a meeting. Robert also agrees. I don't understand why expressing my concern for Yasky and Tina should go against. If anything, it shows my love for them. But if it bothers, it's these little things that we should organize and agree to be in tune in front of the public. And I requested a meeting because me and Robert, for a very long time, for months already, like a few months before that, felt that the meeting is in order. Some kind of coordinative meeting, administrative meeting, short, formal, whatever, but just to say hello, who you are. There were new guys coming in, they took over, and I thought it was necessary, for the continuation of the work. Because we have been doing this work with them, for a very long time, spreading their information, representing them in the interviews. They don't have any other face that is officially representing them. I'm not saying that I'm some kind of official representative. I always said in interviews that I don't feel that. It's just I'm just a person who they talk to, who decided to share this information. But it's not like I was appointed by them to be any representative. So of course not. But in a way, I am representing their information, and people look to me. So I have to sometimes coordinate certain things, details, to know what to say or not to say. That's always a big thing, details like names, to be, to have the correct spelling and all that. So whenever you change the boss on top, like if there is a reconstruction of the company, right? There are new employers. There is a meeting for the employees to establish new rules. Well, Mari said that too in the videos. New queen, new administration. Well, if there is a new administration, I think it's just common sense to have a short, formal, whatever meeting to coordinate stuff, to know what your vision is, to know what we should do. Maybe you have ideas or tips, or how the new administration perceives our role from down here. So we never demanded the meeting before because we thought it was going to be common sense and someone will come and offer such a meeting. Since that didn't happen, well, I asked for the meeting. Also, Mari, knowing because she knew how close we were with Athena and Yaski, could have wanted to arrange something, right? To greet us, to say hello, to ask how we were. She had to be concerned too, right? About Yaski and Athena gone. Yaski was like a little sister to her. And Athena was like a mom to her. Athena was brushing her hair every morning. So I thought that we would have that bond here over that, and that something would have been coordinated, at least to say something. Also remember last August, Athena said Mari is coming to coordinate things with us. That was in August. That's when they got sick and military guys took over, and that was the last time that we heard something from Mari in the videos. In November, the last time we heard from Athena and Yaski, and the new group continued, their flow. I also wanted to ask about Space Academy. I wanted some guidance. I do not want to commit mistakes, or I do not want to do anything that is against their will, or maybe they have some idea, maybe there's something I should say, structure of the project. It was my idea, of course, but it was their information that I was going to present in a different format. So I believed some sort of coordination about that, or guidance would be nice. Well, here you have the next shocker. The next day, when I asked about this meeting, a few of them appear on the line. And we were content. They even put their names. And they sounded reasonable. Formal, but there was a message that was very affectionate there. Long message. Very affectionate, signed with love and empathy your friends seek. I'm going to show you parts of that, okay? Parts.
Dear Robert and Gosha, first of all, we would like to tell you how much we care for you and how grateful we are to you. You have been and are an important part of this disclosure and of the expansion of consciousness that the Earth needs. We hope that this text will make you perceive the appreciation and respect we have for you, and that you understand the importance of what is published online that is also in view of our enemies. With love and empathy, your friends at CIC.
That message came with another type of energy that we felt and was a bit schizophrenic to the previous type of toxic, cold, emotionless energy that we were receiving from them. It felt to us forced, fake, and exaggerated. It was as if they were forcing this. They were forcing the affection, as if someone else even wrote it for them to have us appeased. We felt it very strongly, but at that moment, we actually kind of got lured into this message for the moment, and we were like, that's a nice message. We appreciate it. Because, let me tell you, there was not much to have us content. Small messages of support here and there would have kept us content and going. Really, because it was really not much that we needed at that time, because we understood they were a difficult situation, difficult military situation, We were flowing with all that. So we kind of got seduced by that message. But later we realized it was forced. They signed it with love and empathy, your friends from Seek. They never signed it like that before. It was always signed attentively, big E or whatever, thank you for your interest. Which, by the way, once they signed thank you for your interest, and that bothered me as well, because what do you mean thank you for your interest? Who talks like that to someone who is supposed to be from your team, from your race team for 7 years? I understand that we didn't talk to you. You are new guys. You don't know us. Still, thank you for your interest. Well, that bothered me a little bit. I brushed it off, like many things that I'm presenting that we just kept brushing off. Okay, so after that super affectionate, sweet message, you have to also understand, after 7 years, we learned to trust our feelings here, with feeling the messages, feeling those people. We could feel for 7 years their intention, their energy, and we never felt this like now. First toxic bad energy, then super forced affectionate energy message. It was like weird. And then I asked about the Space Academy. Like I said, I wanted to ask about Space Academy. So when they were there, I'm asking. What they say here, again, one sentence, but enough, like a knife in my heart. About your Space Academy, as we said, this is your project, not ours. We are leaving the nature of your new channel to your responsibility. I understand that this is my project. But like I said, this is their information, and they should care about what's going to be presented there, how it's going. If I'm asking for the guidance, show something. But it came again with that strong push, strong rejection. This is yours, not ours. Total depreciation. They didn't even say, this is a nice idea. However, remember, this is your project, so you can be free with. I mean, there are nicer ways of saying things, okay? But they never said, thank you for the idea. This is a good idea. Thank you for another effort to promote our stuff, because I was going to promote Mari in that channel. No, nothing. This is your project, not ours. Showing total we don't want anything to do with it. That's basically the energy it came with. And now, another strange thing. This continues. Oh my God, I'm going to lose my voice with all these strange things. So I'm asking, after that message, I'm asking, okay, but is there like an advice, something? This is what they say.
The risks you decide to take with your channel are under your responsibility. We have not evaluated that situation, and we do not believe it is our responsibility. We believe that you are more than capable of evaluating it yourself, and know how much risk you run. We would only tell you to be careful if you open yourself to the possibility of any person talking to you. Know that it could be any kind of entity.
What is strange in this message? Why are they talking about some entity? What's that to do with my channel? In my channel, I am just by myself. Why are they talking about not being careful who approaches me, because it could be any entity talking to me, as if again they were talking about themselves, because at that time we had no idea who they were. Yeah, they put some names here and there, but you could put any name at any point. How do we know? Like I said, it was better if it was Athena or Yaski or someone from the previous crew extending the trust to the new guys, rather than them coming in, latching into this and taking over, and you can trust us. So again, this is a very strange thing they said, according to me, as if they were speaking about themselves, because you could be that entity that we don't know who that is. Or now we are also speculating. It's just that because we have spent last months speculating all of this in millions of directions. It was a torture for us because we couldn't tell you anything at that time yet. I'll explain why. We were speculating now. They might have said that because they are preparing. They know that maybe someone will approach us, like, for example, now, someone from the positive team. And they are kind of telling us not to trust that person, because it could be anybody, but it could be actually someone positive. I don't know. This is driving me crazy. I don't want to speculate, but you analyze it yourself, what that message is. This is very strange advice to me, when I ask about Space Academy advice. Okay, and then happens something that finishes everything. And it's my mistake, but we believe with Robert and with Matthias that this is something they just jumped on and they used against us as an excuse. So what I actually took a screenshot. I took a screenshot because when I was talking to them in this meeting, which by the way was very short, it was very formal, not much was discussed really, but at that time we still appreciated the effort. So I took the screenshot of the conversation when the name appeared, because I was outside at that time on my mobile and it was dark. Finland. It was January. It gets dark at 2 p.m. I don't see anything on the street. But I was excited to talk to them, so that they were there, so I was talking from the street. And I take that screenshot to send it to Robert to see it later, because I could just take the screenshot and send it to someone. I didn't know how to save it on my phone. I only saw the send option. And instead of to Robert, I sent it to Agencia Cosmica group, to Telegram Cosmic Agency group. Okay, and I didn't realize it until I don't know how long, 20 minutes, half an hour later. And I deleted it, and I actually ran back towards them in the server, and I said, hey, there's this screenshot there, and I totally admitted that it was me, and I didn't try to cover it. I took the responsibility for it. I'm sorry, it was my mistake. Yes, it was a mistake. Of course it was a mistake. But we believe they took and ran with it, and they used it as a final excuse to get rid of us, just like I predicted 1 week before when I said to Robert, we are the last PE standing, watch, something will happen. Something will happen to kick us out officially. They just need a reason. No, because we never gave them the reason. We were always so good with them. There was no reason to kick us out. So they were looking for the reason, and I gave them the reason, and I still feel bad, but in a way I don't, because in a way I felt relieved. I felt relieved of that toxic energy. I even told Robert, in a way I can just now focus on work, to have that kind of communication with them coming with this toxic energy. I actually kind of prefer just be left alone and focus on my stuff, keep promoting Mari like always, but I don't want to hear from them much because they are coming with a strange energy to me, so it's okay. So I was very sad. I feel bad, of course. Security violation. I didn't want to hurt them in any way. This was just a mistake. So anyway, this is now also very strange. Okay, listen to this. One day later, they come in with a decision, what to do with the situation, and they say this:
We inform that, in the meeting we have had with the participation of all Starfleet commands in the orbit of planet Earth, the High Council of TAYGETA, and Alcyon, we have reached 3 conclusions, which we know will affect you, but we cannot put at risk all our work here. Third, there will be no meetings with you as has happened today. We do not see the purpose, and it only overloads and stresses us excessively. Logistically, it is overwhelming for all of us, and it drains physically and exhausts us. We have thousands of other responsibilities. For example, as a consequence of everything that happened today, our Queen Mari has no new text or video for tomorrow, so she will end up uploading a video that was scheduled for Wednesday. So we inform you that we will go into a standby mode. This means that this space will only be used for extreme emergencies. Sincerely, High Command and CIC Team.
All commands from all fleet, TAYGETA Council and Alcyon Council decided the work with us is finished and this goes on standby only for emergencies. They say why they can't identify, why this and that, okay. And basically that the meeting they just had with us was useless. Okay, let's analyze this very shortly and the strange things that we see here. All the fleet from all the stellar fleet, all the High Council of TAYGETA and Council of Alcyon decides that the work is over. All the way to the Council of Alcyon. You know the Alcyon is the council that oversees all the Pleiades? What they have to do this? Why are we so important that all the way the Council of Alcyon had to be involved with this decision? Here we decided with Robert, they went overboard. Actually with this, they kind of revealing themselves that this is too much. This was an attempt to intimidate us. The Council of Alcyon, all the way to High Council of Alcyon, they had to have a discussion about us. This was too much, you know. we felt like they were just like, you know, intimidating us with the authority here. You know, something they always say, that they don't take the authority, the High Federation and all that, but here they are like coming and kind of abusing us with these words of high command, and not only TAYGETA but Alcyon. And the meeting with us was useless. So 7 years of daily work, constant support for Mari and for them. And the meeting to coordinate with us, the ones who manage this from Earth, is pointless. It was useless to them. It was stressful to them. I don't know why. But so that meeting with us is useless, but they themselves go all the way to meet with the Council of Alcyon to decide something to do with us. So suddenly the meetings and coordinations are irrelevant because they themselves can't make these decisions. They have to go all the way to the Council of Alcyon. But us wanting the meeting and asking for the meeting, that's useless. That's us expecting something that we're not supposed to expect. Why are we suddenly so important? I thought that we were less important than the thousands of those other tasks that they themselves are saying they have, because they don't have time to come in and coordinate, because they have thousands of other important tasks. And suddenly we are that important that they had to involve High Council of TAYGETA and High Council of Alcyon. That meant that was just laughable. At that point, we laughed at that part because we believed they went too far. That detail was unnecessary, because with that they kind of revealed that something shady going on. We didn't trust that message at all. And as you can see, it is no longer signed with love and empathy. They went back to attentively High Council and CIC. No, where is love and empathy? With love and affection, your friends from CIC. Again, nothing. So the whole Alcyon decided that it's useless to coordinate with Gosha, supposed TAYGETAN in the immersion. I'm supposed to be in the immersion in TAYGETA. It felt like a betrayal to me. I felt, because at that time I'm laughing at this part, Alcyon Council, but I'm still thinking, well, was it true? I felt totally abandoned all the way to the Council of Alcyon. Everybody left me. here, TAYGETAN in the immersion, I don't know what I did wrong. I'm trying my best to do this work for 7 years. And the High Council of Alcyone is leaving me behind like that, saying that it's useless to talk to me, to coordinate stuff, based on that one screenshot. I don't believe it. I don't believe this is, no more excuses. If something walks and talks like a duck, it is a duck. And we started to really see that something is shady, but we still didn't know for sure. And always the justification that they used to give, like in Mari's videos, strategic reasons, security reasons. Okay, we continued to try to give them benefit of the doubt. This is my response to this decision.
Yes, I understand. And it just hurts me because it was such a stupid mistake. And the whole reason I wanted to talk to you in the first place is to coordinate things to avoid mistakes. I am a perfectionist in my work, and making mistakes is the last thing I want to do. It's an irony of life. Don't put yourselves at risk. I try to be understanding here for months and months with everything. I have always appreciated your responses. I just felt and still feel that a meeting was necessary. I'm sorry that it was not useful for you. It was very useful for us, because we understood things better.
So after that, I also said that, of course, it hurts me, because they started that decision message saying, we are sure it will hurt you, but it was a constantly passive aggressive, you know? So I said, for sure it hurts me, but the mission goes on. It has to go on, and I just can hope that we can reconvene at some point, and let's hope something will happen when Athena and Yaski is back. Let's see what happens when they are back. That's what I said. They never responded. That was the end of it. And don't think that I'm only showing you parts that make them look bad. Okay? No, the rest was formal, cold, formal, but you know, we still kind of believed it was okay, kind of reasonable, if you know, if we still decided that they were the good guys, reasonable. But it were those strange things that I'm describing that were exposing something strange going on here. And we have been observing ever since, connecting those dots. And connecting those dots actually extends to what Mari has been sharing in her videos. And that opens a whole new Pandora box, okay? And we will get to that. Okay, so that was it. No more screenshots now from CIC. This was the end. We have never heard from them again. And despite all this, and that was in January, as you can see, as you know from my work, I continued to work. And I continued to support them from my work. I never said a bad word about them. I never shared this with anybody. I was very careful not to really share with anybody what was transpiring behind the scenes with the CIC, because, as I always say, I don't trust anybody. Trust anybody meaning anybody can take what I say or what I write at any point, turn it against me if they turn against us. So I'm not going to give anybody anything, you know? And our doubts were just our doubts, Robert and I, but we had no right to accuse them of being bad at that point, because we were just thinking maybe they're just like that, you know, but they are still good guys. There are things we don't know. We always say that, always said that. There are things we don't know. There are, you know, extraterrestrial reality, a lot of exopolitical situations there. We were always given the benefit of a doubt. And we didn't want to make it about ourselves. That's the important point. We didn't want to react based on our emotions. We always said, no expectations, you know? So we try to act according to that and continue to give support and be professional and just hope for a better in the future, you know? And you have no idea the amount of stress and emotional distress that I felt these months from January. Worst year of my life, but mostly because as things were progressing, we didn't know how to proceed. We didn't want to, we didn't want to go against them. We tried so much to believe they are good guys, you know? Mari had birthday on the 8th of March. And she came in to the chat and she left messages. I even reposted that, even though I felt so hurt that I never heard a word from her. And I repeat, I didn't expect conversation. I knew she was busy. I don't expect that. But don't tell me that you don't have 5 seconds to throw in, "Hi, Gosha, thanks for your support," whatever, in the end of the video where she says, "Thank you, the sponsors." We felt nothing. We are nothing to that team. Like we are just totally garbage, less than nothing. Like we are less than, the sponsors is what matters. We will get to that, the money part. So people were saying in that chat in Mari's birthday that they felt they were getting closer and closer to her and to the team. And me and Robert, we were feeling farther and farther away. And it was hurting us so much, seeing how much people are sending them love and energy, and me knowing that they didn't want any of that positive energy. At least for me, they didn't. I don't know why. And this is very strange too. One few days after the last message from the CIC, I actually published my first Space Academy class. And no one ever knew how I felt. Just Matthias and Robert. And I think I mentioned one thing or two to Alec, the one who is designing the studios for the Space Academy, because he asked me, "Oh, I'm excited to know what they think about Space Academy." I was embarrassed. I didn't know what to say. I was like, they didn't say anything. I didn't lie. I said, no, they didn't say anything. And he was surprised. Even him, he said, they didn't say anything? Well, at least I would imagine they would say something. No, nothing, ever. No, they said this is your project, not ours. They brushed it off. They didn't want anything to do with it, and they advised me against some entity. So no one ever knew how I felt. I decided to, okay, I'm just going to focus on my work. Because like I said earlier, I even started to feel a bit relieved that I didn't have to deal with this energy that was coming from those messages. I never knew what to expect next. I was afraid to mention something about Yaski and Athena, about my emotions, because they were saying I was manipulating. So I preferred they were away, because I could fully focus on the Space Academy, on my work, and I did. And Alec is a witness to that. He knows that I was just dived into that. I focused on that. I even told him once, you don't know how this is helping me, that you are designing these studios, because emotionally I don't feel very good. I felt so bad. But it was helping me to just focus, because I didn't want this to affect the community, okay? Because I still believe, until now, in the information. Information before the infiltration. I'll talk about this. And I still want to continue to share that with the people. So I didn't want any of this to affect the community. I tried to just squeeze my emotions and continue. And that's why I said in my social media a few times that I feel the mud. Remember what I said? I feel like I'm going through the mud. This was like my only way to say something about my feelings without saying anything. I couldn't say anything because we didn't want to, like I said, contaminate them at that point. We didn't have enough data. We didn't have enough information. So that's why I felt that mud, because I felt that they didn't just not encourage us, but we felt like we were constantly discouraged. There was something working against us from that team. Who would do that? Why? Why? No? Who would do that? I believe, because I know my intentions, okay? I don't want to be like them saying you can trust me. But those of you who have been with me, especially from the beginning, I think and I hope that you can read me, that you can know my intentions, that you can feel me, my heart and my passion in this. And I have absolutely no evil intentions, no agendas, no manipulation. I'm just openly sharing what I have always believed is right information for you and that it helps. So who would want to stop me from continuing? Only someone who is not working for the interests of the humanity. It has to be that way, because I know I'm trying to work for the interests of the humanity. Why would that someone want to stop me? Like I said, you don't even have to talk to me. You don't have to talk to me. I have enough on my hand to just spare time on idle chat. Like seriously, I do not have that much time for that. I was always available for that to them. I never rejected them. But at the same time, I can't be online all the time to be chatting and then spending time working, which is also on the computer. So I don't have that much. I don't need that. I just needed basic coordination, basic support, basic respect, basic encouragement. And that's it. And like I said, it doesn't take more than 5 seconds to write that in the video that Mari does, where she hundreds of times said thank you to the sponsors. I mean, you just do not, in my opinion, you do not discard the people who have tested themselves already to be loyal and to be with you through the bad and through the good throughout all these years. It seems like they have too many loyal people out there, and we know that they don't, right? They don't have enough trusted troops up there. That's what I thought. Why would they discard few of the loyal people they have working on their side? Who would do that? You don't discard a trusted soldiers who you know will be by your side no matter what. And don't you remember the COVID times? How much we worked, and I worked with Anneka and with the team to spread the awareness, to warn people about all this. This was such a mutual effort, and how much I gave of myself. All this is on my Odyssey channel, censored videos. But no, not even one word from Mari, thank you. And all that while at the same time they talk about empathy in the videos. They talk about ethics and how they take care of their own. We just saw so many double-faced messages and reactions and actions in all this in the last months. And we have been just connecting all this as the months progressed. I'm not done yet, okay? There's more. So again, this is not about the loss of contact, because like I said, I even felt relieved that the contact with the CIC was interrupted because I was away from that toxic energy. It's not about that. It's about all the points that I am presenting connected together. And I say this because I know that they like to say, and they might even use this in their response reaction video. I don't know what they will do after this. I'm not going to watch that, by the way. They might use this. Everybody who loses the contact, they go against. Now, failed expectations. No, just listen to the whole story of what I'm saying, and you decide yourself if you think this is based on a lost contact or failed expectations. Expectations of minimal respect and support, of course. There have to be. And we were actually putting them aside. We were pushing ourselves aside all this time. And also something they always say. They said that the Galactic Federation, well, the Mari says that, was causing situations, making TAYGETANs distrust the Galactic Federation, and then accusing TAYGETANs for being distrustful. Well, exactly the same scenario is happening here. Everything that I'm presenting here and more, I'll get to content of Mari's videos actually now, is to make us distrust them, push us to this point that we have no other option because of the commitment to you, but to present what we feel, and then we will be accused of things. We will be accused of being distrustful, when it's them that were creating all these situations that made us distrustful in the process. I'm going to share with you very shortly a dream that I had actually very long time ago. I mean, when this all started, more or less, when this military took over happened. You know what dream I had? I mean, you analyze it. Maybe you can understand it better than I can. Alanim appeared in my dream, and she wrote on a sand, I don't know, with a stick or with a finger, she wrote the word Shunya. Shunya. I saw it very clear with my eyes. Shunya. And later I found out this means like nothingness, nothing, emptiness. I don't know what that means, but she wrote that on the sand. I saw it I didn't know anything about the word Shunya. Tina and Yaski never mentioned. Dorkalel birthday in March, when normally Mari always participated in birthdays. Yeah, she's a queen now and busy, but go back to that video and see how she talks about Dorkalel's birthday. She just said at the end, oh, and in the end there was a Dorkalel birthday, but I didn't go. Oh, well, maybe next year. Like totally brushed off. So now let's go to the content. Okay, I want to mention some content. I'm not going to go into everything, of course. This is all very long video, and thank you for listening to me, but please stay till the end because this is important what I'm going to say next as well, okay? This is another kind of worms, and it adds to all these connecting dots and the analysis of the whole situation, okay? Because this is where we started to feel bizarre things happening as well. So it wasn't just those internal things with CIC, but also what Mari was saying in the videos. You know, from small sneaky details like discrediting constantly predecessors. I never liked that. I never said anything because I didn't want to not support Mari. I tried to be understanding. I understood that she just wants to, you know, be herself and be independent and not depend on what others said in the past or not. Fine. But there are other nicer ways of saying things. Yaski, for example, when she came in 2020, she also didn't agree with something Swaruu said before. You might remember that, right? But she never said anything like, I don't know with what agenda Swaruu said that. That expression, I don't know with what agenda this or that was said before, that is an agenda. That is an agenda. I was very annoyed each time I heard it. And I wanted to come in and say something so many times just to say that I don't agree with that statement. Because, no, they are people and sometimes you may disagree with them. So that's what I wanted to say. No, we decided to be quiet. Just let her be, let her express herself. You know, she's young, she's coming to her own, she's just become a queen. Urma soul, you know, very, you know, like that. All you want. We were just justifying one thing after another. But to say that the predecessors had an agenda when they said something, for me, that carries an agenda. And I want to share with you here a video that I recorded of myself back in February. I recorded 2 videos of myself. This is the first one I will share that I recorded kind of for myself, for the record. I didn't know if I was ever going to share it, but something told me, record yourself, because, you know, you might forget this. Record your feelings, because it's going to be very realistic at the time. So this is where I hear talk about this agenda thing and the predecessors. This is, I think, 7th of February. Today, the new thing, it's always something we're analyzing with Robert and going back and forth in all these different scenarios. Today, for example, what makes us again annoyed and frustrated, not understanding, is Mari started saying in her videos in the beginning, and she said it twice already, that I'm sharing my research here, my data, what I know, And I don't know with what intentions my predecessors were saying what they were saying. With what intention? Well, what do you mean with what intention? The same intention as everybody here is sharing what they are sharing, no? To spread the knowledge. Why is Mari spreading doubt in the predecessors' intentions? Leaking these comments just gives space to speculations, bad vibes, creating mistrust in the predecessors, and predecessors, that's everybody basically at this point, because even Athena and Yaski were Dorkaler, Naishara, Alenim, not to mention Swaruu and Aneka. And so why create this and seed this vibe of distrust when they themselves don't want us to say anything that might make people distrust Mari. For example, when I said that I'm worried for Yaski and Athena, that I cannot be really happy because they are gone, I don't know what's happening there with that. Well, they basically blocked me when I said that. I said it in their chat. People are witness to that. And then on the other hand, Mari herself is saying that she doesn't know what intentions the predecessors had. What kind of sentence is this? I mean, with that, how do we know what intentions Mari has? And no one before was asking for money. So someone could say, what intentions do you really have making videos and asking for money? Asking for money, I'm not saying that's wrong in itself. If it's necessary, it's necessary. I'm just saying that from the outside perspective, anybody could ask the same thing of Mari. What are your intentions? What is that? Plus, you're not supposed to be talking bad, that's an unspoken rule, about the people who are not around anymore, because they are not here to defend themselves. So it's very annoying for me and Robert, because we are constantly thinking like, should we say something? Should we not say something? Is it a provocation on their part? Are they provoking us to say something, so then this creates a ripple, and then they have a reason to say something themselves, and they will say, Gosha and Robert, we don't trust them. But they are creating all these different circumstances and elements for us to question. It's like the way the Federation operates. They said themselves in the past that the way the Federation operates, it acts shadily, and then in the result, TAYGETANs don't trust them, and then they blame TAYGETANs for being distrustful. Well, this is the same thing happening here. Circumstances are happening, and we are beginning to question and to ask questions and to not fully know if we can trust, and then we'll be blamed for not trusting. But there is no holistic environment here that would give us feeling that we can fully trust. Anyway, this is just what's happening today in my head, but this is not new. And we don't know what we should do. Like, for example, with Robert, should we defend the predecessors at some point? Or is that reaction what they want? Or should we just be quiet? For now, we are deciding to be quiet. But for example, if they are good guys, if they are the good guys, and we say something, we might like burn the bridges and do something bad. And, we don't want to commit a mistake here. So if they're the good guys, and Athena and Yaski come back in the future, and then they will say, "What did you guys do? What did you say? You ruined Mari's work. You had to just trust this whole process and be patient." Okay, so we kind of ruined it, right? By saying something. Now, if we don't say something, and these are the bad guys now, Athena and Yaski will come back in the future and say, "Why didn't you defend us? These were bad guys. Why didn't you trust your intuition?" So, here for the record, we don't know right now, and it's very hard
to be in the public and to be sort of, not pretend fully, because I don't know. I'm not saying that I don't support them. I support them because I want to choose to support them still and trust in them. But there is this questioning in my head because of all these different elements, and I want to put it in record here that I am supporting them, but it's hard because we also have these questioning thoughts, and it's very stressful, to be exhausting, to be working. And now I'm beginning my Space Academy. Why all this Space Academy is beginning now too? I don't know. It's very strange, strangely timed, everything, but it's exhausting because you need to have this motivation and the frequency and the positive vibe, and you have all these conflicting thoughts and draining emotions, and yeah, it's hard to work in this environment.
So again, those extra comments are ugly, are not necessary, and in no point she's even giving credit for the predecessors for having started this community from which she is now benefiting. Benefiting, because here we are also talking about money and economic benefits, and we will get to that. So here we started to realize this being, this person, whoever is writing there for Mari, is not just not able to say anything nice about us, but about absolutely anybody. Anybody. There is absolutely not single one person that she talked nice, really, from the previous crew. And that's an agenda, to instill doubt in the previous project that we have been doing, that the TAYGETANs have been doing, and slowly destroy it from inside. That's the agenda. That's the agenda. So one of the agendas. So the new people that are coming in will not even be interested in what was said before, because I know better and they didn't, and they had agenda on top of that. They didn't have any agendas. You have an agenda, young lady, or whoever you are that you are writing. You have an agenda. They started talking about arrests, Cabal arrests, liberations, TAYGETA liberation. Then suddenly, liberation of the whole Pleiades. TAYGETAN Council, Pleiadian councils, Antarian councils, all liberated of Cabal corruption. Then they started talking about rescues. Rescues here and there, rescues of women and children. I told Robert that this is starting to sound like the hopium thing that a few years back we were warning people about. You know, when it was talked about the white hats and the rescues and Cabal arrests, and we never saw any of that. And Anneka was always warning about that like the humanity doesn't see any effects from this. Like, this is a distraction. What is this? I mean, look at this. First they are liberating Toleka, heroes. Then they are liberating TAYGETAN Council, heroes. Then they are liberating the whole Pleiades, heroes. Then they are liberating Antarians, heroes. Then they are starting to rescue children and women, heroes. And on top of that, now they need money for that. They need you to pay them, the heroes, to rescue those children and rescue those families. This is a total hopium. This is ridiculous. Why do you think I stopped to make space news recaps? This is why. Now you know. I said back then that I didn't want to do them because I had a lot of work with Space Academy, which was true. I never lied there. Actually, I didn't lie. I had work with Space Academy. I felt I didn't have nothing to contribute. That's also true. But the other reason that I omitted from there is that I didn't trust that information. I could not sit there and recap something that back in 2020, in 2021, we were making fun of as a distraction, as hopium, as something that people should not just give much attention to, you know? And now we are the ones talking about this. This is absurd. And I didn't want to contribute to that because I didn't resonate with that. I still wasn't sure. That's why we never said anything to the public. I wasn't sure. Robert wasn't sure. We still had doubts. That's why we couldn't come out and say anything. So, you know, making themselves glorious and heroic constantly. Alleluia, holy triad. That's an agenda. I strongly feel they are leading people's perception towards something, this new group. And that new group depends on that portrayal of themselves as glorious and heroic for something. So I am warning you to discern, okay? Because Taygetans that I know, that we have always known, were humble. They never talked about their actions, not much. They never want credit for that. And now Mari doesn't shut up about what they are doing and how they are doing and how glorious she is and how glorious they are. This is against everything that I have learned about Taygetans in the past 7 years. Now they are saving everyone. And this is something so much against what we have been talking about for the last years, that you are the salvation. Yes, of course, we depend on the actions from there. I'm not dismissing that, but it's just too much. It's too much, and it coincides weirdly with all these other shady points I have been presenting, okay? It's all making us reach the conclusion that this group is not nice. And I have a theory with this, okay? This is just my speculation. There could be millions of different variables here. But my speculation is that since we have all explained that the Galactic Federation is shady and corrupt, well, my theory is now that whoever infiltrated, if they are from the Galactic Federation, for example, working with the Cabal, they will try to rebuild that image now, as if now Taygetans are in charge, the Triad is in charge, so now the Federation will be good, and they are presenting themselves as heroic and as saviors, and now they will come out as benevolent Galactic Federation, right? Run by this benevolent Triad that has done so much good for the Pleiades, for cleaning up the corruption. And now they are coming and presenting themselves as that benevolent Galactic Federation, something that we have warned about years ago with Athena and I think with Anneka and with Yaski, with one of the false alien invasions, where there's going to be this benevolent Galactic Federation. Well, since we destroyed the Galactic Federation image, in our community at least, well, now, so I'm thinking, how would they now change that? Well, okay, we're going to infiltrate Taygetans, we're going to present them as great heroes who are rebuilding the Galactic Federation from inside. Now they are the Federation, so now the Federation is to be trusted because it's the Holy Triad, it's the good guys now. So it's a very genius, shady plan. This is a speculation, but it would be genius, but there's definitely something dark going on. In May, I posted this image and this message in my social media.
Calling upon all positive and benevolent forces of highest and most noble kind, transparency, strength, clarity, kindness, ethics, and love, to stand with me, next to me, within and around me, and by our community, the one on earth and off earth, in this ongoing effort to raise and protect humanity from those who stand in the way of its harmonious, peaceful, and free existence. Access to all negative forces beings denied. Rethink your strategies. I am protected. We are protected. I so declare and know. I stand in the light always and protect those within my frequency range.
This is actually the message to the dark forces who I felt are still running this, okay? Even though I still wasn't sure, and Robert wasn't sure. And as you notice here, I'm sending greetings to positive Taygetans and forces. I used that word a few times in my previous messages, to the positive Taygetans. And continuing with Mari's content, I noticed strange things. Strange contradictions. The small one here is, for example, that the Mari from before said that Taygetans were all vegans. And a few months ago, she said that they ate fish and it was just a normal part of their culture. It was strange, never explained. People brushed it off. I brushed it off, whatever. The biggest thing, strange thing, recently that was said, and I didn't notice anybody talking about that, was the mentioning of gravity in the recent videos. This contradicts how Mari herself, exactly a year ago, talked about gravity. She actually dismissed the word gravity. She said she was never going to use it again, and she said that gravity is not the movement of consciousness within the ether. And in these last messages, she talks about it like she kind of forgot about her own theory, and she went back to how the gravity was presented before. I mean, can't you see that? I cannot believe, I was telling Robert, I can't believe no one is talking about this, because this is totally against what she herself said 1 year ago, which would point to now being another person writing. Like there's another person writing now and forgot about what she herself said a year ago.
Mari, June 2024. When looking at what gravity is from the human physics and mathematical point of view, I see that it does not behave as the consciousness flows in the ether, as TAYGETANs describe in their technological concepts. The word gravity must never be used again to describe TAYGETAN concepts and technology, as it links and validates it with Earth science and its countless lies. Gravity is not a flow of consciousness in the ether. Gravity is a human concept that does not even exist in advanced interstellar cultures, such as the TAYGETAN one. I will no longer use the word gravity to describe TAYGETAN concepts. I am quite convinced that there is no such thing as gravity, certainly not as a force, much less as a particle. Mari, June 2025. Gravity, as described by advanced interstellar races, is a wave in the ether that is potential energy, and only with the intervention of focused, intentional attention coming from something or someone with consciousness will enough potential energy concentrate at a single point, creating a standing wave that will then become a particle. That is why I say that gravity is both a wave and a particle. That is the basic component of solid matter.
Also notice there is no mentioning of metaphysical subjects. Very few. Now, it's all space news and space glorification stories of their actions. And very few videos on metaphysical subjects, here and there on the astral, but I believe it's the recap. And many times she says it's something new. It's not new. It's like a refried information from before, maybe something new added here and there, but not much. And didn't Yaski say that Mari is on her level with metaphysical understanding? Where is all that? I understand she's busy, supposedly, if that's Mari, with the political situation, but Yaski did mention that she was on the same level metaphysically, so she would understand these topics, but she doesn't choose to focus on that. Well, this could be viewed as, the point against, but it could be also understood that she's busy. Okay, whatever, but I'm throwing it out there. Okay, another point, this goes on, and thank you for being with me. I told you that you have to listen to the whole video. Another point that Mari mentions, set 27th of April. Don't worry, we are almost there. We are in April already. 27th of April, Mari mentions that the communication is closed for the contactees. And she throws in there in a very sneaky way. So the information doesn't come out with sensationalist motives. You have no idea how that pissed me off. And I, again, wanted to say something, and again, I didn't. I didn't. Not even once did I share anything for sensationalist reasons. This is not the focus. This is not how I operate. This is not how I work, okay? Look at the videos and tell me what video was made for sensationalist reasons. Who shares the videos as sensations? I would say I'm sorry, it's Mari. She makes one video after another where there is tragedy sensationalized. She puts a video on a premiere 12 hours before, when Ragel died, for example, with black hearts, saying this is for the not for the weak-minded, something horrible happened. 12 hours before, people are sitting in a chat, stressed and worried and speculating. Tell me that is not feeding on a tragedy. Tell me that is not being sensationalist. Tell me that is not feeding on the fear and hurt and confusion of the people's emotions. If someone dies, like when Anneka died, for example, or something happened in the past that was a bit difficult, we would never put it on the premiere with 15 hours of wait with the sensationalist clickbait title, so people can be there worried for all this time. We would just publish it, that's it, it comes out. We are not going to feed on that. So all that suspense, creating suspense around these tragic, dramatic events, that's sensationalism. And it pissed me so much that she used that excuse against us, against me, because who else did she talk about? There was no one else that shares the information. Of course we took it personally. This is sneakily contaminating my image, same as with predecessors. Okay, this is a very sneaky way to throw mud on me, especially for the new people who don't know me and who don't know how I worked, who don't know my ethics, my integrity, and my principles, and are not going to look at my information because right away, my image is contaminated. Someone who does nothing but works every day and night to think how to present this information better. Your information, and you call that person sensationalist. You can even criticize me for things. Like I always say, point out things that I need to improve in my videos or where I make a mistake, but be balanced. Sneak in positive words there too. But no, not even that, because we know that someone there behind is someone who is unable to do that. Is someone who is emotionless, who is making me suppress my emotions, like with Yaski and Athena, cold, cruel, manipulative, sneaky. And it's exactly what they say about the Higher Federation and the Authorities. This is how they are acting themselves. And don't be fooled by the interesting information here and there. Don't be fooled by that, because if this group is regressive ETs or shady ETs, of course they will have access to that information. Of course they will want to throw it in there to keep their channel interesting and ET and reliable. But notice there is nothing of higher metaphysics. These sneaky expressions like, I don't know with what agendas the previous girl said this and that, contactees shared something for sensational reasons. You are pushing the new subscribers away from even considering the previous information. And that's the agenda. Not the predecessors, not Gosha. That's the agenda. To move people away from what has been created. And let's go to the subject of donations. Again, do you know how many people we have sent money's way as sponsors to help her because we understood they needed money? And I never ask for donations myself. Show me where I ask for donations. I don't. But I understood why she was asking in the beginning. And never a thank you for all these people that were coming her way, becoming the sponsors. But money initially was for food. And I understood that it was necessary, and I was paying them myself. But now, the money is going for rescues, and even for Antarians. And that is just very, very strange. Just to show you how devoted I was till the end, even before Mongolia, I was considering making a video And I was going to make a video why ETs need money. I even made a thumbnail already, and I was about to say that I'm making that video. That was my last attempt to show them support. Because all these months, even though we saw all these strange things, we have been still conflicted. And talking to Robert, we decided, no, don't make that video yet. Because I was thinking, if they are the bad guys, I'm explaining to people why they need money, this is going to send so many more people their way to send money. And that's a huge responsibility. I don't know if I should do it. But at the same time, if they are the good guys, I want to help them. And I want to make people understand why they need money. I put it away until I'm back from Mongolia. And I'm glad I did. So I believe that they needed money in the beginning, but later, we don't know when this infiltration happened or whatever happened, we don't know exactly. This new group started taking advantage of this, okay? So be very careful. You can still decide to do whatever you want, okay? I'll talk about this at the end. But be very careful, because now this is becoming too big. It's becoming too much. It's a lot of money is being sent their way, and money is involved, okay? This is becoming even dangerous. I'm going to share with you a video now, how I felt in March. Again, this is the second one of my videos that I recorded. And remember, this is in March, so we still have doubts. We were still accumulating points. We had this internal conflict. We didn't know what to do. We wanted to trust them so much. Just so you know, I used to take valerian root pills and Bach flowers stress remedy because of how I felt. Because of this social responsibility that I felt. I didn't know what to do. I had people contacting me and asking, like the Polish guy from Polish Cosmic Agency, or Dr. Alex, who was helping during the pandemic, and they were expressing something or asking me something. I couldn't reveal anything. I didn't want to. Not at that point yet. So anyway, this is the video that I recorded. I don't feel like recording this, but something tells me that maybe I should keep the track of all this. This is, I think, 8th of March, birthdays. Yaski and Mari. And I feel very bad. It's not going away. This painful feeling in my soul is squeezing me inside. It's like a constant anxious feeling from which there's no escape. And Robert is telling me, oh, it's going to go away. It's not going to go away. If this doesn't get cleared in some way, this situation, and something doesn't happen one way or another, which I think it will, it's just a matter of time. But if it doesn't, I'm just gonna live here and die here with this feeling. And I'm worried here that this is my main point of this recording today, that this feeling that I have, which is of deep hurt, betrayal even, disappointment, rejection, I'm going to take this with me to the next incarnation. And it's going to define me in some way, because all our feelings and emotions and thoughts are always what defines our vibration, and that's what creates our future experience. So if I don't find a way to somehow process this, but there's just no way for me to process this, because I can't even escape from it, because I have to keep working. And I have to keep working because I keep believing in this cause and in this project and in this information. Especially, at least minimum the information that was until the takeover and all the other spiritual information that Mari is coming out with. I believe in that knowledge. I believe in my role here, in myself, and this is what keeps me going. But unfortunately, as I keep going, I keep being connected to them, and with that, I keep being connected to that feeling. So that's why there is no escape for me. And there is no real purging of this, because we can't even talk about it in public. Because why? Because we don't want to taint their image. Many people will be asking questions, and instead of just focusing on the good information and focus there's going to be friction in the community. There's going to be dent somewhere there in the image of the TAYGETAN's throne. But that's the thing. I'm also tired of always being so understanding and explaining everything always with, where we don't have data and we just have to understand. Well, it's just at some point, it doesn't explain, it doesn't justify, and it doesn't make your feeling any less real or valid just because there is no context. Well, precisely, there is no context, so we have a right to have these feelings, especially if facts are facts. The words that were spoken are words that were spoken, and many of them hurtful, and I even feel like betrayed, because this is supposedly my own race. I'm there in a TAYGETAN immersion here on Earth, and they keep talking about how they are so ethical, and Mari talks about how she's not leaving her people behind, and blah blah. And here I am, left totally behind for no reason at all, saying that High Council of TAYGETA, even the High Council of Pleiadians, Halcyon Council, is saying no, the teamwork is over. Why? What did I do? What did Robert do? Why don't we deserve the continuation of coordination? Because I myself don't have time for it to be sitting there and talking. I only want to coordinate certain things if they need to be coordinated, or something that we need to clarify if it can be said or it cannot be said. We are here representing them and their information with our faces in the interviews, whether they like it or not, whether they whatever. We are doing this, and we have been doing this for 7 years, and we love doing this. We believe in them, but I feel it's just so one way, and it's just not coming back. Mari, the last time she mentioned us was in July 2024. The New Year's wishes, the New Year's video happened when she made a thankfulness video, when she was thanking all the supporters for the last year, all the sponsors, which, by the way, she keeps thanking the sponsors, but there was not one word about thanking Gosha and Robert for the support that we keep giving every single day, and that we keep sending her the people, and many of them become sponsors, and we also by that sacrifice those sponsors because maybe they will be helping us. We are here on Earth needing the money as well, and if not more in many aspects. And here we are sending those people over to Mari, and then they support her. And that's what we wish for her, but we never, ever once receive a thank you. So this is not about a lack of contact. This is about the total lack of empathy towards us, and cooperation and appreciation. And what's hard in this is that despite this, I am continuing to support them and continuing to send the positive reinforcement towards the TAYGETAN race and towards the TAYGETAN image of them in the human perception. I'm standing up for them here. I'm standing for them, but I don't feel they are standing for me. Every single day, that's all I do. Just work. I add work, add now the friend channel, add projects. And the only words I have, it's your projects, not ours. That's it. Not even saying good, well done for the idea. This is amazing. Keep going. Nothing. Just, this is your project, not ours. And it doesn't take that much at all for Mari to say these few words on her videos, even if she doesn't have time to come and do it herself personally, which we don't expect that. But minimum is expected, because we respect ourselves. We are not some martyrs here that are going to continue to kiss someone's ass all the time, meaning send support, send greetings, send love, send hugs, send that and that, and keep spreading the information. Be such a great supporter, but accept that nothing ever is going to come back our way, and opposite. Because if it was just nothing our way, like nothing, like for example, the contact just disappeared, like last time it disappeared for 5 months, we were okay with it. Well, we were not, but there was nothing negative coming our way. But this, what happened with the CIC, is just a bunch of negative energy that came our way. And each time Mari mentions thank you to sponsors, has no time to throw in there and thank you for Robert and Gosha for the support, that just pinches my heart each time I hear it. It's almost like I believe it's done on purpose to hurt us. I just have no words, and I don't know how to process this, what to do with this hurt, because it's in me. There is no escape from it. Nothing I do helps. It's just constantly there. Each time I'm working with their information, I'm back into that feeling. So I'm continuously connected. There's no disconnection for me. And even if I did disconnect, that feeling is now going to go away. It's there until it gets resolved in some way. And the only way to resolve it is if someone appears, Athena, Yaski, or someone, or something happens to clarify more this situation, to give us context, to give us more clarity, because we don't even know who we are dealing with at this point. And that hurts additionally. Working for this group, not even knowing if this is the good group anymore, or whether they were taken over. I can't even do space news. And Robert feels the same, because we don't feel this information. We don't feel connected. We don't know who it is coming from. I'm recording this just for myself, by the way. This is not meant to be public, even though I don't know what's going to happen, so just in case, I just want to record this so it's realistic. I also want to say that I have valerian root that I take. I also have stress relief by Bach flowers. That's like flower essences. And I take that. I have my own essence. We talked about this with Robert. And that thanks to that essence, I'm okay. I'm not the type of person that is prone to depressions, because I have many layers of myself. And even if that one layer is compromised, there are other layers that are sustaining me. But this layer is pretty deep and saturates into other layers, because it's been the most crucial part of my life for the last 7 years. It is my life. Everything else is like just on the side. And despite all this, all these inner situations, I continue to believe in this knowledge given to the public, so that the focus has to be there. But at the same time, we are thinking with Robert, especially me, like how long will we be repressing this and repressing these feelings? It's not very healthy for us. And for the record, I just would prefer that in the end they are good guys, just kind of mean to us in the process, but good guys in general for the human affairs, rather than them being bad guys, which would actually relieve my personal hurt. Like if I found out, Athena comes and says, no, the guys, we were taking over, these guys are not, the Mari is not Mari, this is someone else. Yeah, it would resolve personal hurt, I would feel relieved, but I would feel bad for the community and for the information itself that has been given, because like since when was it compromised? So in the end, I would prefer, for the humanity's sake, that they are good guys, just mean to us, and I will deal with that, rather than them being bad guys and me being relieved personally.
In conclusion, we can't really know what's happening, but we know that whoever is there presenting themselves as the TAYGETAN Queen and as the CIC with the new group is either several options. This is the infiltrated group that replaced original Mari and TAYGETANs, or they were silenced in some way. To that, let me add you that vision that I had with Yasky. Remember, a few weeks ago, I told you I had a vision with Yasky, and I told you that there is a part that I couldn't reveal. Remember? Well, I'm going to tell you now what the rest of that vision. The rest of the vision was that when I saw them together, Yasky and Mari, that was Yasky telling me that she went with Mari because Mari's soul wasn't there anymore in Mari's body or Mari's persona. Mari was there as a soul and Yasky was with her. And she was telling me that someone who is Mari now is either, yeah, it's true that, you know, maybe there's something to do with the immersion. Someone is like using Mari's body, or Mari's body is being like infiltrated by some other intelligence manipulating her. But like Mari's original pure soul is being with Yasky somewhere else. That's what I felt. But I couldn't say it to you at that time, because I'm pointing to this Mari being bad, and we were not ready to do that, to take that step yet. So we don't know what's happening. We believe, I'm going to say that the complete infiltration happened with Athena and Yasky gone, but we believe that it's been gradual, and that there has been manipulations happening on board for a while. And we do believe that these are ETs and human elements. They have to be, because we feel it. We feel that human toxic energy, or maybe regressive ET energy coming together with the human elements energy. I think it's both. Another option is that Mari from the beginning was a Trojan horse. And she was not replaced. She was just kind of always bad. It was just not known. And now this is interesting. When Mari was made princess, I'm going to find that conversation. With the aching heart, like with the trembling, not aching, with the trembling heart, I suggested to Athena at that time, it just came to me as a thought, like a possibility, because there are already all these infiltrations. And I was thinking, Athena, what if like Mari is some kind of an infiltrated piece here, and now she's becoming a queen? Wouldn't that be a puppet queen, maybe? I suggested that, but not really thinking that. It was just a popping idea in my head. Contemplating different things. And Athena said, no, for sure not. So I said, okay, no. And the subject was never mentioned again. Again, I didn't believe that, really. I just had millions of different possibilities in my head, and that was one of them. But what if it was true? Mari appeared supposedly pursuing that starlet girl. What if they were together and she was meant to be found by Athena and brought in here? I don't know. I'm speculating. I do not want to speculate, okay? I know you will be speculating back and forth as well. But I'm just throwing it in there as another option. And another option also is
that Mari has been, that she was good, but has been under heavy influence of the infiltrative, manipulative group and turned bad. If not replaced, simply turned bad. Because we believe that this manipulation has been going on for a while. You know, this is something they always wanted, the Cabal, to infiltrate TAYGETAN. And not just the Cabal, but working with the regressive TAYGETAN elements. I know, it's a circus out there. You know, sometimes with my Space Academy, especially now, I'm excited to share all this with the people and open their minds to the cosmic reality. But then I'm thinking now, especially now, I'm thinking like, with all this happening out there, I mean, what are we really waking them up to? All these cosmic, you know, dramas and betrayals and infiltrations. It's not what people think. Oh, beautiful interstellar existence with our cosmic family. No. But we believe it has been going on for a while, the manipulation. And there was few times, for example, in October, Yasky came in. It was one of the last chats. And she sounded very strange. She sounded mean. It didn't sound like her. And I even asked her, is it you? Are you Yasky? And she said, oh, well, I'm not going to be spiritual always. That conversation was so weird and had that kind of a mean vibe that I didn't even save it. And I think that's one of the few conversations, if not the only one, that I didn't save. I have everything saved, everything from the beginning. I did not save that conversation because I didn't want to remember it. It was weird. So I'm thinking maybe their accounts were already infiltrated. Maybe someone was speaking for them as if it was them. I don't know. And we don't know since then exactly. Remember that Yasky and Athena were coming kind of less and less, so it's hard to pinpoint that point. And also one time Yasky came in and said at the end of the conversation, that was a strange comment. She said, well, you are nice to talk to. And I remember I responded, or something like that. And I remember I responded, I said, well, Yasky, you know, we have known each other since 2020. And she just gave a smile. Like, she said that as if she was discovering me, like she didn't know me before. And remember that even Mari herself said that when she was describing that TAYGETAN Council infiltration, she was saying how it was discovered that their regressive TAYGETANs were working with the Cabal, were impersonating Mari to the TAYGETAN society. So that already happened. Like, she's already also explaining this already happened. She also said in one of the recent videos that the human military was passing as Alpharatans on Vera. She also said before that Ummo contact has been infiltrated. So this doesn't stop there. This doesn't stop there. It's kind of like almost they're talking about themselves, we believe, and giving hints. It's because that's kind of what they do, no? The Cabal. Anyway, we can speculate, but in the end, we don't know. What I do know from everything that we expressed to you, and there is more, but I would just be killing you with this for so long, with so much information. What we do know is that this group is not ethical, is not empathetic, and is not as nice as they want you to believe they are. They are not. We don't know who they are. We don't know what they want. In a way, we are confused, because if they're the bad guys, wouldn't they want us on their side, like trying to fake the friendship so we don't turn against them? Wouldn't that work against them if we go against them? Why not pretend at least to be our friends so we don't turn against them? What's the play here? We don't know. I don't know, because I am not really a chess player. I don't know how to think in strategies. So it's very hard for me to understand this. Now, why didn't I say anything earlier? We didn't know for sure. We wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt, always. as I explained in this video. We were always pushing our feelings, our needs. We just wanted to keep supporting them all the time, even though it was always one-sided. But we tried to understand it. And we tried to not to focus on ourselves, but on the bigger picture, which we thought was a bigger picture, not ourselves. But we were observing at the same time too. I think I said that to a few people here and there. We support them, but we are observing right now. Many of you have asked me, Gosha, what do you think about all these events, all these developments out there? Isn't that exciting? And you wanted me to say something and be excited. I couldn't. I was just observing. And it was torture for me. Torture for me because I didn't know how to proceed. I felt this responsibility to you, to the community, to be always truthful with you. But at the same time, we couldn't just talk about this without having more data, more information. You know, we were not convinced 100%. So we couldn't, like, you know, go against them if they're the good guys. That's what we were hoping all this time. But I remember with Robert, I was saying, but how long can we continue like this? How long can we pretend to the community like nothing is happening? Because in the end, if this continued for 2 years and we come out saying this after 2 years, you would blame us for not having spoken before. Because we are, by our silence, we are condoning this. We are condoning people sending money to them. We are condoning people being given all this hope about all these liberations. And you would blame us that we didn't say anything before. We have responsibility to always say what we feel. So I said, Robert, we cannot continue like this for 2 years, because then it's going to be, people will go against us for not saying anything before. So like we were constantly discussing this back and forth. What should we do? But at the same time, without having enough data, you cannot go against that team if you know they are just weird here and there. Okay, well, there are people. Everybody is weird sometimes. No, they're people, right? They have, like I'm saying, they can be weird. They can be cold. They can be formal. They can be even mean, but they could still be good. So I was hoping if they are just mean to us, okay, but hopefully they are good for the humanity. But no, we came to this decision that no. And I felt strongly that I would get this clarity in Mongolia. And I did. And I reached this conclusion that I have to speak about this, that we have to speak about this. By the way, if you are interested in what Robert says, I think in his channel there is now English audio dubbed, so you can hear it. It's going to be, of course, with some mistakes, but you can hear it because I'm by myself here. You know, in Spanish, it's both of us. But when I was in the and this is also pointing to the fact that we are doing the right thing. I got this clarity when I was in this Buddhist monastery for 3 nights. I actually wanted to make a live about my trip to Mongolia, okay? And it was ruined by this. I had to make this video now, and now you don't want to know about my Mongolian trip. You just want to probably think about this because there's so much to process, I understand. Maybe I will make a live about Mongolia, but later on. But what I was going to say, last 3 nights in Mongolia, I was invited actually by one of the followers of the channel to the monastery center run by her family, by her father that is a monk that constructed this whole area. And I was there for 3 nights sleeping by myself in this big house that is normally for Buddhist monks that come there to visit. After 7 p.m., because this is a public place, they close. And there's only that family that lives with a monk and me next to them in that big house. And after 7 p.m., it was completely empty. There was no one there. And I used to go to that temple by myself every evening and meditate there. I also meditated during the day, but in the evening, after everybody left, everybody was gone, I was there by myself. And that it was in those days that I received this confirmation the push to do what we are doing now, and we feel we are doing the right thing. We are not tormented anymore. If anything ever happens in the future that points to us having been wrong, then we will say it too. We will always tell you how we feel. And I'm sorry again, we couldn't say anything before, but without having enough information and without evidence, it would be, reacting a bit rash, reacting based on just some emotional reactions here and there. Well, a lot of those emotional reactions, not just here and there. And now we have more. And I feel we have enough to present. We always say that we have to act based on the intuition, right? Well, this is us acting on our intuition, but also on facts, on things that happened, on things that we felt, and the things that we see in Mari's videos. So from all perspectives here, we're acting on our emotions, on our intuition, on our mental analysis of this, okay? And the intellectual consideration of all these different points. And, this is a huge risk for us. This is a huge risk and sacrifice for us, and even dangerous. So let's see what happens. I'm not going to watch any responses from them, because we don't know how you are going to react. We understand that we will lose many of you. That many of you will just stay with Mari, and that's okay. We are just presenting our case. If we wanted to do this for business, for money, for continuous fame, or whatever, however, whatever, we would continue to do this with Mari. Sorry, my energy is going down. I'm talking too much. But this is not business for us. This is not fame. We have to do what we feel is right. So it's a huge risk for us, sacrifice, and also dangerous. We believe this group is dangerous. So let's see what happens. I'm not afraid. We have code words with different people. I'm not a substitute of Gosha. That happened in Mongolia. No. For us to reach this decision, there had to be really things that made us do it. And it's not Mongolia that made us do it. We have been accumulating this for a long time. Mongolia was like a seal, okay? We know for the fact that someone is trying to get rid of us, like they got rid of everyone else. And we know that someone is not nice, not ethical, and not a good person, despite the mask they are putting on. That we believe there are layers of manipulations here going deep, layers of lies and manipulations. And we are stating that these are not the adequate mentors for the humanity. This group. I am not talking about the TAYGETANs before. Whoever is behind Mari's channel, these are not mentors for the humanity. They arrived out of nowhere, took over, got rid of everybody, latched on our community, got the community, got their sponsors, dumped shit on everybody that built this community for them to benefit from. Gosha and Robert to the garbage. It's clear. If it walks and talks like a duck, it's a duck, for as much as we try to justify their actions for months. Where is Yasky and Athena? We don't know. We have no idea. Maybe they were escaped. Maybe they were silenced. Remember I was saying I was worried for her? And many of you were saying, Gosha, but don't worry, you know how Yasky is. I'm not worried for her. I was not worried for her because of that. I was worried for her because of everything that I'm saying, because of these circumstances. But I could not tell you exactly why I was worried. And also, important, I am not going to leave. They want us gone, whoever that is, we are not going to go away. Someone honest from the past, from the previous team, has to stick around. I'm going to continue work because they cannot dictate to me with their actions or words or however what I feel I'm supposed to do. And I feel I want to share the cosmic knowledge. I want to share the cosmic ideas and spiritual ideas. And I like doing this. And I feel it's my purpose. And no one can get rid of me for doing that. And why would the positive group want to get rid of me for that? I mean, we always say, every star seed is necessary in the field to do the spiritual work, right? Who would want to get rid of me? Why? Only the bad guys. It makes no sense. So I am planning to stick around. I'm planning to stay in the field. I'm planning to continue to share the TAYGETAN information that I still have. I understand many of you will not be interested. I understand many of you will leave. That's okay, but I'm leaving it for the future subscribers, for the future generations. I don't know. I just need to share what I have, what I still believe in. Okay? I'm planning to continue with my Space Academy. I'm just not going to use Mari's material, especially the new one. I believe that the older material is correct. I don't know at what point this has been infiltrated, but remember, this had to be done in a subtle way that you wouldn't notice. So some good stuff has to be there still. So if you want to continue watching that, go for it. Just consider my warning here and be careful, especially with the money, because this is becoming too serious now. The money is being sent, okay? Be careful. This is our social responsibility to warn you. I'm planning to also regroup my social media. I don't know yet how. Many moderators will probably want to leave. I have no idea what I'm going to do yet. Please, if you are a moderator in any of my groups and you want to step down because you're not with me anymore, you want to stay with Mari, well, let me know, okay? I will probably have to reconstruct things because we believe those groups are infiltrated as well, heavily. I know there is a lot that I don't know because I'm too naive and innocent and concentrated on my work. I'm not saying this ironically, I'm saying this as a fact. I know that there are shady things happening behind my scenes, behind my back. And that's because I'm just so focused on my work and always seeing good in everything. I don't know, whatever. But I'm not going anywhere. This is not going to break me down. It's been horrible. This has been the worst year of my life, but I feel better. Oh, why I said about the monastery, because I believe that the reason I was given that clarity there is because it's coming from the good spot within my consciousness, that decision. It's not influenced by the bad guys, this decision. If I was given this clarity in a discotheque or in a bar full of drunk people, all the clarity came to me, well, then you could consider maybe she was influenced by astral entities. No, I was in a super elevated bubble. It was so peaceful. It was so positive in that monastery. I was just meditating and concentrated on positive, high frequency and positive. I was anchoring myself in what's most noble in me to reach that conclusion. I was asking, please, something to happen for me to know how to proceed, because I have this responsibility with the community. And the fact that I was given that clarity there, it confirms to me that it's the right decision. And to be clear, we are not saying that the TAYGETAN contact what we had was a fraud. No, this is not against Yaski or Athena or against any TAYGETAN from the past, any positive TAYGETAN. We know this is real. In fact, we know this is also real here. It's just that they are the bad guys. They are some corrupt ET group, probably working with the humans as well. Federation, who knows? So this is very real. But the infiltration has happened, and the infiltration is real too. And also be warned that we are sure that something will come now your way from them, or however, with a bunch of stuff against us. We don't know what's going to happen, probably a bunch of ways of discrediting us. I don't know, they will use pink hair, red shoes that I had. Again, that I'm a clone of myself from Mongolia. Maybe even there will be fake Yaski and Tina's messages. Be careful. Be careful, because it's not going to be real. I don't believe that. And I'm not going to watch any of it, by the way. I am not going to watch anything that group will put out. That's why actually this video is so long, because everything I want to say on this subject, I want to say only once. I only want to say once. I don't want to repeat myself. I don't want to drain my energy any further. I don't want to give my energy any more. This is all on the subject. I truly hope. So I'm not going to watch anything. So do not ask me. Just watch this video and that's it. I cannot come up with anything that they can come up with against us. It would be just a bunch of misinterpretations, probably lies. I don't know, they could even create, because they are evil. Like, I really believe there is an evil force behind. They can come up with fake videos of us talking about something, but it's not going to be us. Who knows? Anything. It's not going to be true. But I'm relieved that I could finally speak to you and tell you this. I didn't know how I was going to react actually speaking about this. I'm actually surprised I'm so peaceful, because I thought I was going to be more emotional about this. I thought I was going to cry, but I think I was able to process this already. And I processed this especially in my monastery time. I came to the conclusion, I received the clarity, I told Robert we were going to do this, and we agreed, and that this is it. And now I feel relieved, and I can dismiss that toxic energy out of my life, and I can continue on working in a positive way. Okay, who knows, maybe I'll activate something of myself. Just because we are starseeds doesn't mean we have nothing to say. We only have to just wait for the extraterrestrials to speak. Maybe the memory will come back. I don't know what's going to happen. Something will happen. Something will emerge. Maybe some kind of a positive TAYGETAN group will, reappear and will give more clarity, because there's so many unknown here. And I don't want to speculate. It gives me a headache. It could be a million different things. But I hope that before my life is over here on Earth, that I will receive some clarity on this. I know that I haven't done anything wrong. I feel peaceful with myself. I feel fulfilled. I haven't committed any act of disloyalty. I didn't lie to them or anything. So, in a way, in the end, you always have to just be responsible for yourself. As much as the other side hurts you, if you know yourself that you haven't done anything wrong, you can be at peace. It's not always easy, because, the betrayal is something that hurts always the most. But in a way, I'm feeling, perhaps, this is not a betrayal, this is just a takeover, infiltration. So this relieves me, but at the same time, I don't want infiltrations happening to them. I hope they are okay. Yaski, Athena, and the rest of the team. So continue to watch Mari's channel if it speaks to you. But we have spoken, and I will not be seen repeating this again, or so I hope. We had the duty, the commitment to speak to you, and we did. So keep watching the videos if you want, but be careful. Rewatch this video if you want to understand it again better because I know it's a lot of information. I crammed here everything that has been going on for the last months and the feelings that I've had. So I understand it's a lot to process. I don't know what else to say rather than I may make a live in a few days. I don't know, in a week maybe after this. I will give you time to process this, to think about this, come to your own analysis, and maybe I will appear live. It's risky because I know I will be attacked as, you know, as we are the ones who are betraying now, when this is the reverse. But okay, many of you will say that we're betraying and you will come to the live, and it's okay. I'm already accepting that as something that will happen, but I'm at peace with myself. So I'm tired now. This was a long video. Thank you so much. I have to record this now again in Spanish. All of it again in Spanish tomorrow. Anyway, sleep well, think about it, contemplate, meditate, process, analyze. And that's all I can say to you. I care for you. I care for this humanity. That's why I was so tortured, okay? Because of you. Because of the commitment I felt towards all of you. Not even because of the personal rejection. It's all about you and my responsibility to know what to do. So, thank you again. And let's see what happens in the future. But I'll be here.